Welcome to Live, Love, Engage, the podcast where we share practical advice from a spiritual perspective on how to create a life and business with more impact, influence, and income. I am your host, Gloria Grace Rand, the insightful copywriter and founder of the L.O.V.E method. My mission is to help you stop doubting yourself so you can live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically. Namaste. We are live. We weren't quite live right on the dot with Facebook when I intended, but we came back, so it's all good. But welcome those of you who are listening to this podcast, those of you who are watching live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I am going to be talking about retreats. Have you ever attended a retreat before? There are all kinds of them. There's spiritual retreats, there's meditation retreats, there are retreats just for men, there are retreats just for women. And I love them. I think they are just the most wonderful thing to be able to do for yourself. It really is. It's a gift that you give yourself. And for those of you who, I don't know, for some reason, if you've never heard of the concept of a retreat before, let me explain. It's essentially, retreats can be anywhere from one day, they can be a weekend, they could be a week, 10 days. It really just depends on the person who is putting the retreat together and what they want to accomplish with that retreat. And you can find retreats in all sorts of wonderful places too. Some people like to plan destination retreats where you go to, different countries than where that person who's organizing it resides. So you'll see retreats in Italy or Costa Rica or Lima or, Peru, or whatever. And then others, they have them closer to home, or maybe even in their own home, possibly if they have a lovely home that's large enough to accommodate. That's the word I'm looking for, to accommodate 6, 8, 10 people. And that's the thing too. Retreats can also be all different sizes as well, because again, it depends on the location, where you're hosting it. So it could be a nice, small, intimate retreat, or it could be something a little bit larger. What I really wanted to focus on today is actually the benefits of a women's retreat. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about my experience attending one. And the first time I did this was, I should preface it by saying I had gone on a one-day retreat before, but then to do I think it was 5 nights, 4 days, something like that, or maybe the other way around. But 5 years ago, I went on a wise women retreat to North Carolina. And so this was, there were about eight of us, I think, 8 women. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And as it happened, it coincided with my 55th birthday. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to go. I thought it would be a really awesome way to celebrate my birthday. And what was interesting is that, for those of you who may or may not know, I live in Florida, and there's a certain time of year where we are so fortunate to have hurricanes. And as what was happening was, the weekend of this retreat, we were starting to be under a hurricane watch in Florida. And so the leader of the retreat was not sure whether or not we should cancel it or not. And so she contacted me, and I was like, oh, please, I want to go. I want to go. I want to celebrate my birthday. I've been looking forward to this. And we'd be in North Carolina. So far, the forecast track looked like it number one, the storm wasn't going to be, terrible. And number two, that it wasn't going to affect us up in Asheville, North Carolina, which is where we're going to be. And so, and I'm sure she checked with some other people and we're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make a go of it. Now, of course, my husband wasn't too happy because we did get some rain and I think we lost the power while I was gone. But this was a gift for me and I so enjoyed it. What do you do on a retreat? You may be wondering. Well, we did a variety of different things, and for one thing, the retreat was held at it was actually held at a retreat center that was sponsored by the YMCA. And the first night we had a campfire, which was so much fun. We danced and sang around the campfire, brought back memories of when I was in Girl Scout camp, and that was like one of my favorite things to do. And so that was like the first night. That was awesome. Then throughout the rest of the retreat, we did different things. Like we had a sound healing experience where someone came in and played the didgeridoo for us, and that was really spectacular. We explored our chakras. We went on we did a labyrinth walk, and we made crafts. Like we made a walking stick, sacred walking stick, and just we also had fun. I mean, I think one of the last days we went into town, into Asheville, and we just spent time shopping, just going window shopping mostly. Although I did buy a really cool shirt there that I loved. Unfortunately, it wore out. I had to get rid of it, but it was really nice at the time. And we went out for a nice lunch at a restaurant then instead of having the more camp food sort of I would say at the retreat center. But it was just a lovely time. And I think what really I enjoyed about it was being in the community of like-minded women. I mean, first and foremost, that was the best thing. I actually carpooled there with a woman that I had met. We'd only known each other for a few months, but on the drive up, we found that number one, our birthdays were both in September, so we had that in common. We were both Virgos, and then we just had a lot of similar history growing up. And so really got to connect with her better that doing that. And then just again, being in this company of women for those few days was wonderful. And we were all ages, which was great. There was someone there who was as young, I think she was 19. And then we had a woman who was, I think, in her 60s. And then ages in between, 40s, 50s, etc. And that's really great too, because you get to then experience different experiences, life experiences from people. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And so it was so really, really a cool experience. We went hiking in the woods. There was a stream, and we got to go off by ourselves a little bit and spend time journaling. And that's what was really great too, is also the other thing was that in this retreat center, there was no television in our rooms. So we really unplugged for a while. So there was, yes, I think I had my phone with me, but I used it to take pictures. I wasn't checking social media or anything like that. And frankly, we didn't even have a need to, because we were having too much fun and also just being quiet, spending time by ourselves, being able to commune with nature, to have time to be within, to really go within and to be still, to be still and know. I remember one morning I got up early and just went for a walk outside and just enjoying the beautiful scenery of the mountains. And it was great. So one of the reasons that I'm sharing this with you is that it's 5 years later, and I'm going to be 60 this year, another milestone birthday. And I don't have an opportunity to go on a weekend retreat. No one I know is planning a weekend retreat. And one day, and this was actually only a couple of weeks ago, I had been doing work on the computer and then I took a break. This was a Saturday afternoon, actually. And I went and sat down in the living room. And then my lovely tuxedo cat, Fiona, decided to hop on my lap, as she likes to do, and settle herself in. It's like, okay, I was only going to maybe rest for 5 minutes. I guess I'm going to be here a little bit longer. And as I sat there just looking outside at the trees outside my window, I started thinking, man, I really want to do something for my 60th birthday this year. I would really love to be able to celebrate it with people, with other women. And then I started thinking that years ago, I had purchased a domain name and it was called unplug to recharge.us. So unplug to recharge us, essentially. But had never done anything with it. The time never seemed to be right to do a retreat. And I thought, man, I know there's not a whole lot of time here, but boy, it would be so cool to have a retreat. And I started thinking about different things that I could offer. And I thought, well, we could do yoga. I could share some of the light language that I've been doing. We could do some sort of art activity. And I had a couple years before had participated in a couple things where we did something called soul art, where you sort of create a vision board, but it's really small and it's a really cool experience. And I thought, oh man, that would be cool. Maybe I could get somebody to facilitate that. And I could bring someone in to teach yoga because I don't teach yoga myself. And just, and I just thought, boy, that would be really cool. I wonder if I could make that happen. So finally, the cat got off my lap, and I went to look at the calendar, and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if there was like a full moon? That would be kind of cool. Um, and I said, on a certain weekend, I was like, so I went to look up the date, and now my birthday this year does not fall on the weekend. However, the weekend before my birthday, the Saturday of that weekend, there's a full moon. And I thought, oh, this is cool. We could do it that weekend right before my birthday. There's a full moon. We could do some sort of full moon ceremony, have maybe fire or something, and do something really cool. So I got super excited and I thought, I wonder if anybody else would be interested in this. So I created an email and I sent it out to my list and I just said, I just have this wild idea. I don't know. Would be curious to know if anybody would be interested in doing it. And on a Saturday afternoon, I actually got responses back like that day and the next day. And I was like, and there were a couple of people that were like, yeah, that sounds really neat. Let me know more, because I had no idea where I was going to have it. And I think even at the time, I'm not even sure I had the exact date yet, but maybe I did. Maybe I did. I forget. But that encouraged me. And I thought, okay, well, this is cool. So let me see if I can figure out how to put this together. And I started searching for places to have it. And eventually I realized that I had actually reconnected with someone just like a week before, I think. And she had a retreat house in Florida that I could have this retreat at. And I'm like, okay, I think the universe wants me to put out a retreat because this was like really making me excited. So I decided that, yeah, I'm going for it. And I created a landing page for it. And I contacted this woman and I'm like, is that weekend available? And she's like, yeah, I'd love to have you guys there. And I'm like, oh, awesome. And then I posted about it on Facebook. I had a lot of people comment about it. And one woman in particular who I've only, I've never met her in person, but we have connected via Zoom through another spiritual group actually. And she's like, let me know. And so I called her on the phone, told her all about it. And she's like, oh, this sounds good. Gloria, I'm in. I'm in. And so she's already signed up for the retreat. And I just was amazed at all of that, that this could happen so fast. And one lesson I want to share with you about this is that, well, a couple things is number one, when you get an idea like this, go for it. Start figuring it out. Start seeing what you can do because I really believe if it's meant to be, you'll be able to pull things together really fast. And and I even now, okay, I am a copywriter, which helps. I was able to write the copy for this landing page. But I think even if you weren't, I think if you are so passionate about something that you'll be able to write about it or you'll and then someone perhaps who is skilled will say, "Hey, would you like some help putting, your website together?" And they'll reach out to you, and so you don't even have to worry about doing it yourself, which, by the way, I had someone contact me who, wanted to help me promote it, so I still have to follow up with her today. Um, but if you would like to know more, so let me share with you a little bit. I have already, but I just wanted to let you know that this is on my heart, and I would love to have 10 people there that well, actually 9 people because I have one signed up already. So I'm looking for 9 women who would love to step into a new version of themselves, to really unplug, to recharge, to bask in the nurturing feminine energy, that will embrace your intuition and creativity and just let loose of the last couple of years have been crazy, and that was one of the things I put in my email. I'm like, if you're ready to kind of just give yourself the gift of a weekend away with some other amazing women, make some new friends, maybe connect with an old friend if you bring someone with you that you know, and just give this gift to yourself. So we're gonna have like a talking circle where we can all share what's going on in our lives and what's happened the last couple of years. We'll do some opportunities for journaling. I'm still planning to offer yoga. We're going to do a full moon ceremony. I have to create that. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but I'm up for it. We'll do yoga. We'll offer Reiki and light language, energy healing, and do the soul art activity because I couldn't find anyone to facilitate. And then I realized that I can do it because I have done it just enough times to be able to help other people through it. And we've got a fire pit so we can build a fire. So it's going to be all sorts of wonderful things. And if you want more information, you can go to unplug to recharge.us and do that. So I really believe that magic happens when women come together, and that's, a spirit of fellowship and love. And I enjoyed attending the retreat that I went to, and I really just want to give back to others. So that's my intention with that. And I thought, I wonder if I can find a daily word that would be appropriate for this because I usually love to be able to share a daily word from Unity. And what was interesting was when I went and researched one, I I put together notes and I was using my old notes from a previous episode. And it was from the Make Your Own Kind of Music episode. So I was using that to say I've got a little notes, my little cheat sheet here of notes. And so the daily word that I picked for today is from August 13th, 2000. And when I went to type that into my old notes, that daily word was from August 13th, 2019. So if there are any numerologists out there who want to comment on that, I don't know if there's any particular synchronicity. It's just a coincidence, but I don't know any significance, but I just love that. So August 13th, I don't know. It's a good day. If it's your birthday on August 13th, hope you have a happy birthday this year. So let me share with you today's daily word from Unity from August 13th, 2000. And the affirmation was, During a sacred retreat with God, I am one with the love and peace of God. And then the reading says, spending a day or more on a retreat at a special place offers me rest from whatever may be troubling or stressful. A retreat can also be a short time of contemplation on the sacred wherever I am. This is something I do often by closing my eyes and focusing my attention on the Spirit of God. My Creator always has time for me, so at any time, I can take a break from my work or activity to be one with the presence of God. I immediately feel at peace with myself and with my surroundings. A sacred retreat takes me away from adverse situations and prepares me to spend time resting in the love and peace of God. I welcome these interludes, for they help me realize that I am always one with the love and peace of God. And then the scripture reading is from Jeremiah 29:13. When you search for me, you will find me. And I also want to let you know that if you don't come to my retreat, it's okay. I love you anyway, because my retreat may not be the right retreat for you. And that's an important point I forgot to mention. I believe everybody should go on a retreat at some point in their life, no matter what. So you'll find the retreat that's meant for you. I believe it. And I think the retreats come into your life when you're ready for them too. Just as everything is, it's all in divine timing. Everything is in divine timing. So be on the lookout for that. And if you start to feel that call to go to a retreat, see what's out there. Maybe check with your friends and say, "Hey, do you know anybody who's having a retreat? Let me know." And see what comes up for you, because they are a wonderful gift to give yourself. I really absolutely believe that. And of course, if you'd love to join me in Florida, outside of Disney World in September 9th, 10th, and 11th, I'd love to have you. Absolutely. And if not, find another retreat to go to, because you deserve it. You deserve to put yourself first. You deserve to give yourself a break from all of the stress and anxiety that the world constantly bombards us with. So do that. And you know what? Here's the thing you can also do. You could do a retreat at home. A lot of people wound up doing that during the pandemic, didn't we? When we were on lockdown, we were forced to do that. Well, now you can, as things have opened up, you can choose to do that. And so, of course, if you live alone, that's the ideal way to do it. But if you don't, you could ask your significant other or family or friends to just give you the grace to be able to spend maybe just like one day where you find yourself in a nice room somewhere in your house, and you say, okay, put a do not disturb sign on the door and just say, I am out of commission for the next 8 hours, or whatever it is. And use that time for quiet contemplation, or reading a favorite book, just staring out the window, whatever it is. Meditation, of course. I love meditation. But give yourself the gift of silence, because ultimately that's what it is. We live in such a noisy, chaotic world that we deserve to have a break. The old, you deserve a break today. That's the old McDonald's jingle. Well, it's true. You do, but don't go out and buy McDonald's. Sorry. Even though I worked there as a kid. Meh. Uh, you deserve a spiritual break today. You deserve a love break today. Spend some time loving on yourself. And whether it's at a retreat in your home, a retreat you attend, whatever, but do that for yourself. I encourage you to make time for yourself as soon as you can, because again, you deserve it. Okay. I've been busy today, haven't I? Well, I would like to end our broadcast today and our live stream and our episode that you're listening to on your favorite podcast platform with a light language healing message, blessing message. And for those of you who are in a car, of course, I always remind you to pause the podcast now and come back to it later when you can be sitting down and maybe perhaps someplace quiet where you put headphones on and close your eyes and listen to this. So, my intention for this today is that it will offer you a little mini retreat right now. Yeah, that's it. This is a mini retreat for you to be able to just take a break, allow the sounds to wash over you and let it melt what any stress is going on in your life right now. Allow it to just flow away for a little while and give yourself this gift of light and love for your higher soul, for your soul's highest good, I should say. この寿司なへあとは、そこにかへかせ、あのきかへか、そにょなねかりや、そこにおくくしや、かのきこさにあのきか、안소요토이하 선여기하 얀노기하소아 오쇼노기아테 오소니고 안노예카네 소요시 안노게 소로도시오기야 Osoki liano kikahea, social no kokarie ano kiha, soyo kochia. Blessings. Blessings for you today and for the rest of your day, your evening, whenever you're listening to this. I hope you had a little mini retreat right there and got to enjoy a little peace. We all deserve peace and love. And yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode of Live, Love, Engage. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, go out and live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.